What's on Your Mind is sponsored by ACC 339 Dudley Road, New Style Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam Jam.
Good afternoon. How you doing, guys? Welcome to another program, a series of What's on Your Mind. The program is produced by Breakthrough TV, and I am Carl. Hope you're good. Hope everything is fine. Let me say thank you for tuning in. I want to say thanks to my last guest that we had in the studio last week, Highly Bred. Don't forget to check out Highly Bred music. You know, very wonderful artist. And we haven't been here for the last 2 weeks. I'm going to laugh. I don't know if I should tell you or I shouldn't tell you. Unfortunately, this is the funny bit. I brought my tour. I know that would get someone that you guys out there laughing. Yes, I brought my tour, and so I wasn't able to continue. It wasn't too bad. I went to the emergency service, and they scanned it and they x-rayed it, and they said, you broke your toe. I had to be very careful though, because you know your toe is like very, 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 very sensitive, and you know your feet, everything is in your feet, it goes around your body, and everything circulates through your feet. So you have to be very, very careful of that, you know what I mean? So it's one of those ones. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Got two wonderful guests with me in the studio this afternoon. Got Sister Maureen, who is a poet, and she's also a singer, a songwriter, and she works. And I also got her another member of her family, which is Sister Christine. How you doing, Sister Christine? Hope all is well with you. Welcome to Breakthrough TV. How's your day been?
It's been great.
It's been great.
Yeah, it's been great.
What have you been up to?
Well, been to work, having to deal with students, and I must say as well, I did have some sort of enjoyable time because I had a session for 2 hours where I didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
Which was because the students went on a trip.
And you teach students?
I'm a support.
Oh, you're support?
Yes,
And how long have you been doing that?
Been doing this for 14 years.
Marvelous. Do you like
Yeah.
it?
Oh, I love it.
Great. Absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And as you know, we are here also to talk about Women's International Month. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that a little later. And also, Maureen, how you been?
You asked me, and I'm going to be honest.
Yes.
I've been naughty.
Why you've been naughty? I hope you've been nice as well. I hope you've been nice while you've been naughty. All right.
No, it's been my annual leave. I've taken my annual leave, so I was off
leave.
Thursday.
Okay.
And the whole of this week, so I haven't really done much. I've thought, Maureen, you do a busy and very hard, stressful job, so just relax. So I've got a list of things to do. Mm-hmm. Hence the naughty, because I haven't really ticked off much.
You haven't really done anything then.
No.
Absolutely. Sometimes it works like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works like that. Tell us a little bit more what you do, because I know you sing and you work and you do poetry and all the rest of it. Tell us a little bit more what you do.
Oh, well, as you know, I work for that place that's bankrupt, Birmingham City Council. So I work for there. Other than that, I go to church, so I'm a church goer.
Are you a church goer?
Yeah.
How do you find that?
I love it.
You love it?
I love it.
Which church do you go? Which, what religion sect you on?
Right, well, it's a Christian religion.
Christian, yeah.
And it's called Grace Communion International.
Okay.
Yeah,
and you go every Sunday?
Every Saturday.
every
Saturday, yeah.
You go every Saturday? Okay. And as I say, you enjoy it?
I enjoy it, yeah, I do enjoy it. Because I think that's a sanctuary, isn't it, for me? And everything everywhere else is.
And how long you been doing that?
Oh gosh, from when I was 16 years old.
Oh,
so young.
Absolutely young. You're only 16 years old, but you're only 18 now. Yeah.
I'm only 18 now.
Absolutely marvelous. Great. I say welcome to the show. As I say, we're going to talk a little bit more about Women's International Day.
Yes.
We're going to get you to do a couple of your poems.
Okay.
And that sort of thing. But you know,
brilliant.
As you know, I always look at a few things that's happening across the world. And before I can, I want to say a big shout out to belated birthday greetings to Mr. Carlos Gabidan down in Jamaica. Carlos Gabidan He's one of our Jamaican correspondents, and he's a wonderful brother. So we say big shout out to him. Happy belated birthday to you, sir. Hope all is well with you. And I want to say big shout out to Brian. Brian does a blog. He's a wonderful guy, and he actually works. He also does a blog which talks about cancer, and he came in the Breakthrough TV some time ago, and he actually shared his experience about his mother having cancer. And you can go and check his program out. But for you to check his program out, if you go and look at week 136, what's on your mind, week 136, you'll actually see Brian talking about his mother, and then you can actually find his link to actually go and check out his podcast, which is absolutely marvelous. But I say, Brian, I hope all is well with you. Also coming up is Mother's Day. Mother's Day will be here. You know what I mean? Yes. For me, Mother's Day is one of those, because I lost my mother a while back. You know what I mean? I lost my mother in 2016, so it's never easy for me with Mother's Day. Yeah. It's like even Christmas. I mean, like at Christmas, after my mother died at Christmas, I walk around the shop, and the first thing I always do at Christmas, I always go and think of getting her a card. Yeah. And then all the Christmas since 2016, I walk past the shop and I think I got to get Mom's a card, but Mom's not here anymore. So it's one of those ones, is it? Yeah, it is. So it's just one of those ones. Don't forget, guys, please share the program. And let me say thanks for all you guys who actually support the program. And you know, thank you also for you guys who actually accept the program, because sometimes I'm a bit naughty, but nice. I actually send you the program without you asking or without giving permission. I just take the liberty. Let me say thank you for accepting that, and maximum respect. Also want to say big shout out to you, Rose Capri. Big shout out to you. Hope all is well with you. Good on you. Now, looking at a few things that happened in the news. In Haiti, on Sunday, the Haitian government declared a state of emergency, and they declared it for 72 hours. Thousands of inmates actually escaped from the prison in Haiti, and I say it was full with violence, and this is in a series of violence that's actually rocking the Caribbean islands. According to UN Security Force, you know what I mean, said that over 4,000 people had escaped. And as I say, in Haiti is become a very, very strange situation, because there have been kidnapping in Haiti, there have been murders in Haiti, there have been women being raped in Haiti, and there's children being attacked in Haiti, you know what I mean? And this has actually been going on for quite some time. And we hope it gets sorted out soon. But also gangs has actually been running around the street, and they're actually stopping people. And they've actually was trying to take over the airport as well. You know what I mean? According to some of our sources, which is a very, very, very bad situation that is actually going on in Haiti. And as I say, Haiti has been suffering for a very long time, and we don't know how it's going to pan out in the long time. Haiti.
Oh.
It's horrible, isn't it?
It's terrible, absolutely terrible.
And I said there seems to be no end to it. Now, moving on. Birmingham City Council declared bankruptcy. Yes. Yeah. Now, my colleagues are laughing, and they propose to collect your dustbins every fortnight. This is part of the cuts. And they actually wants to dim the street lights 10%. You know, the street light that lights up the streets at night, they want to dim that by 10%. They're also scrapping grants for arts organization. They're actually doing so much. A 24 million cut from adult social care. The big and closing of 25 libraries. There's only 35 libraries in Birmingham. Also, however, they're pushing up the price of your council tax. Rise 21% over the next 2 years. This has left residents furious. And some residents have says, are they taking pay cuts after messing up the whole situation? I can't say anything more than that, because a lot of people think that, and sometimes you just got to say what you got to say. Maureen, how you doing about this?
Wow, boy, because obviously working in the department, it's very hard, and as social workers as well, you know, we want to make sure that the people we serve get the best deal, but then we can only serve them what we're given.
That's right.
So it's going to be a very, very difficult time for citizens, but also for social workers, because we know why we came into the department for. Is to look after people, you know, to take care of their needs, support them, and it's almost like you're working with one hand behind your back, and your foot's tied up as well. So it's going to be very difficult.
I just say a lot of people are angry. Christine, how do you feel about this whole Birmingham council bankruptcy thing?
Well, I think it's negligence, really, at the end of the day. Negligence and...
Negligence.
Yeah, and they haven't spent wisely.
Yeah.
You look at what they've done to the city centre, and like we were discussing before, those bike lanes that they've put in. There's hardly anybody
I've always
using
thought that.
them.
I mean, I ride bikes, right? I've ride bikes. I always ride bike. I don't necessarily ride on the main road. I go into the parks and the country parks and by the canals. You know what I mean? But we see in Birmingham, and London is different from Birmingham because London's got a lot of people, and Birmingham's got a lot of people, but London's got a lot of people, and a lot of people in London use bikes.
Right.
Now, 9 times out of 10, if you drive around the road, you hardly ever see anybody riding that bike.
Yeah.
You see a few students, and the only regular people you actually see is people who's delivering food.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So true.
So you hardly ever see anybody riding bikes. So I think the bike lane has become a white elephant.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So so that could count as waste. The other thing as well, I also think, is the Commonwealth Village, right? The Commonwealth Village in Perrybar. Now, the Commonwealth Village started and it couldn't finish because they was late. Now, common sense tell me if it's late, they probably had to pay overtime to finish it early, and it still didn't finish early. It's finished now. It's looking lovely. Not taking that away, but you know what? It's empty. Nobody's living in it. And there's a lot of people down there. There's a lot of people who's homeless, and nobody's living in it.
That's right.
This is it.
So as I say, I think our councillors in Birmingham actually wasted a lot of money. And the other thing is that they're not going to take a pay
cut.
They're not going to take a pay cut, is it?
I wouldn't think so.
No.
Because now they're going to say, we need this money to sort out the mess. We need enough money.
And they made the mess in the first place.
Oh,
There's
dear.
a lot of things you could say, but I won't.
And it's
There's a lot of things.
And it's costing taxpayer as well.
Yeah.
Yes, costing
Costing
it
tax,
does.
you
It
know,
does.
they're saying
And,
that they're
and,
gonna
every, and every year it goes up. Every year it goes up. You know what I mean? And they're going to tell you some things that it doesn't goes up, but every year it goes up. But it's going to go up, and then some government going to say, oh, it's election time. It's election time. We're going to bring this down.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Because I want the votes, you know.
That's what they do, Eddie. That's what they do. We're going to bring this down because it's election time. You watch. Mark my words.
But I do think that people, as citizens and whatever, we need not to sit back and let things happen. Like, for instance, the bins, like you said, and the lights.
And the lights.
Look at the tarmac.
Yeah.
Potholes.
I know.
And we what do we do? Oh, we just drive round it.
We just drive around them, yeah.
We've got to argue our points.
But the lights, the lights is absolutely ridiculous because the lights, for people on the street, for people who's working late in the evening, or for even women who's working late in the evening.
Good.
Even me, a man, there's, I don't like to go out the street and don't see the lights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? So, and it gives the camera, if there's street cameras out, it gives the cameras a better chance to see what is actually going on in the street.
True.
That's true as well. And is everybody's light in everybody's area going to be the same?
Yeah.
Because is it the people who are more affluent going to have more light?
Exactly.
And those less affluent, less light?
I just say it's probably a decision that people needs to stand up to. And we're not activist guys, because I don't want to hear anybody say we're activists. Let's get that out of the way first. Because as soon as you have an argument, it's like the thing that as soon as you have an argument about something, or you say you don't like this because it's actually happened to you, your family, your friends, or all the people you know, you become an activist. So we're not activists here. We're just talking the reality of things. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments in the box. Yes. And no, we could really go on to that one. There's a lot of things we'd like to say to that one. Now, Morgan Heritage singer Peter Anthony Morgan has died February the 25th. He was only 46, my apologies. And there has been a memorial service today in Orlando, Florida for him. And he'll be, there'll also be a memorial service in Jamaica the start of April. And it's such a sad He has such a brilliant voice.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's actually gone. What do you think of Morgan Heritage? Peter Morgan.
Yeah, it's sad because he's someone who writes conscious lyrics as well.
Absolutely.
And I love that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big loss.
It is a big loss. It's a big loss to reggae music.
Definitely,
It's a
definitely.
big loss to reggae music. Even though they sort of reside mostly in America, and a lot of them was actually born in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's still a very, very big loss to reggae music. Christine, what is your favorite Morgan Heritage song?
Down by the river.
Down by the river. You like Down by the river. That's good because Down by the river. I lived when I was born. Where I was born, I lived not exactly where I was born, but where close to me where we actually live. We actually live by the Cave River that runs in Jamaica. Part of it actually runs not far from where I live. So we Cave River. So when I ever heard the Morgan Heritage song, it always reminds me of the Cave River. No, I never lived by the riverside. Let's just get that straight out of the way. Because I know somebody who, when I say, oh, I live by the riverside. No, I never lived by the riverside. But we wasn't living very, very far from it. Yeah. Your favorite Morgan Heritage song?
Oh boy. I suppose it is the same as Christine's, Down by the River. Yeah. But I like all their songs.
Yeah, that makes some good tunes. I mean, like some of my favorite songs is like you don't have to be dread to be Rasta. Love that. You know what I mean? And as I said, Down by the River is also on my list. And She's Still Loving Me. That is also a good. That is also a very, very good song. And a man is still a man. And there's ends now meets. I've been actually running some tracks from this album on my radio show. There's the latest album which came out in 2023, which is Homeland. It's actually a very, very great album, and it's actually a combination of collaboration with a lot of different Afro artists, you know what I mean? African artists, which is actually very, very good. And it's so sad, as I say, to see one of the best vocalists in reggae music, you have to say.
Very sad.
Peter has gone. You know what I mean? We pay respect to all his fans and all his family, and God bless. Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Moving on, and also another artist has gone. B.B. Seaton. B.B. Seaton. His name is actually Harris Lloyd Seaton, and he died on Monday. Goes by the name of B.B. Seaton. Dies in London. He was 79. Ska, rock steady reggae was his journey, and he was a member of the Gladiators, the original Gladiators from way, way back, one of Jamaica's finest groups, you know what I mean, from back in the ska days. And he was a composer, and he's a qualified musician. And as I say, he lived in the UK for many, many years. And a lot of people think, who is B.B. Seaton? Who is B.B. Seaton? And he also had a solo career, and he actually made a song called Lady with the Red Dress. But the big, big track he actually had made is a song called You Are My Jamaican Girl, My Jamaican Girl. Freddie McGregor also covered that. So, and he did a lot of collaboration with the great Ken Boothe. And so it's actually sad to see B.B. Seaton went. I actually met B.B. Seaton many, many years ago. I think it was in mid 2020, about 2026. And he came to a store that I was actually a volunteer at. And I got to tell you, the first time I met him, and I've heard of B.B. Seaton a long, long time ago, and I've known the name. And the first time I actually met him, I said, "You're still going?" And he said, "What do you mean we're still going?"
You put in your place.
It was initially put me in the place. But that was it. I mean, we got over that. We got over that. You know, and he was a very, very nice man. I mean, we hoped that we could do some collaboration together, but he lives all the way in London, and we never actually get a chance to do the collaboration. But I actually knew he actually came to New Star Radio in Birmingham a lot because a DJ at New Star Radio, Tony Roots, he was a regular guest on Tony Roots' program, you know what I mean, which is actually so sad. God bless B.B. Seaton. Yeah. Don't forget, guys, to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Please leave your comments somewhere along the line in the box. Yeah. Now, Mona Dodd, the daughter of Coxsone Dodd, she wants an apology for insulting scene in the Bob Marley One Love movie. She expressed disapproval of how they played her father, so Coxsone Dodd, in a scene where he is, they show him as like a portray him as a gun-trotting bad man. I don't know. And this is when he actually met the early whalers, the very, very teenage whalers, which is actually, we spotted in the movie. And she says she's actually wants an apology for that, you know what I mean? And which is, it's insulting, and he demonized his character. You know, so she's not very happy with that. And she said she wants an apology from Paramount Pictures. Also wants an apology from Rita Marley. And she also wants an apology from the whole organization, Paramount Pictures. So we'll see how that goes. I must say, I've interviewed Mona Dodd. We've actually interviewed Mona Dodd. We actually interviewed her some time ago, maybe about 18 months ago. We actually interviewed her at the Coxon Lounge in Aston. And you need to go and watch that. I think it's, just go to Breakthrough TV and look at Mona Dodd with Carl Campbell at the Coxon Lounge, and you'll see her, and she was actually talking about her father legacy. You know what I mean? She's actually a very, very nice lady. So, but I said she's not happy. Big shout out to you, Mona Dodd. Big shout out to you. Now, still talking about Bob Marley. Now, Bob Marley picture, the biopic, which is actually, a lot of people have been saying a lot of things about it. Now, sales and streams of this movie is gone. Not the movies. Sales of streams of Bob Marley catalog of movie has actually rocketed. Sorry, Bob Marley albums has actually rocketed. And Bob Marley music is selling more than ever before, you know what I mean? The film has actually surged and done very, very well. In fact, in 2 weeks, it had got to the #1 consecutive at the box office, which is actually very, very, very good. And I say 2 consecutive weeks. Also, it has grossed $120 million.
Wow.
$72 million alone in the United States.
Yeah.
Wow.
Marvelous, isn't it?
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
That is amazing.
So the question is, did you see the film? Have you seen the film yet?
I haven't seen the film yet.
You
We were supposed to go, weren't we?
I haven't seen it yet,
Yes.
but I'm definitely want to go and see it before it goes off.
Yeah. It's a very, it's a very, very interesting film. It's a very, very interesting film. And I mean, I'm not gonna go on, but a lot of people have been saying a lot of things about this film. My own take on the film, and I'm not. There's a whole lot of stuff I was going to say about this, but I'm not going to say everything about this film. My whole take on the movie is that, and certain people have been saying this person is not in the film. This, because I'm not going to spoil it for you, because you haven't seen it yet. This person is not in the film, and that person is not in the film, and this person should have been in the film. What I get out of the movie is that the film was about Bob Marley going back to Jamaica to unite the people. In fact, what Bob Marley did, he actually saved a lot of lives in Jamaica, because if he didn't go back and do that concert, Jamaica could have ended up in a civil war.
It's true.
So that is what I actually get out of that movie, and that was the main thing about that movie was, you know what I mean. And the two gangsters who actually invited Bob Marley back to Jamaica assured him that he would be safe, because before that he did the concert in Jamaica. He was due to do the Smile Jamaica concert, and then before he did the concert, he was shot. Then he did the concert. Then he decided to leave Jamaica because of his of fear, or he had to get out of Jamaica. So he left Jamaica. I said I wasn't going on, but I have to do this. So he says he had to leave Jamaica. Now, why he left Jamaica and come to the UK, 2 gangsters who was from different side, the JLP and the PMP party, they come to Bob Marley and ask him, would he come back to Jamaica? Bob Marley was reluctant to go back to Jamaica, because Rita had also been shot in his head, who actually support Bob Marley. Anyway, the long and short of it, Bob Marley was reluctant to go back to Jamaica. In the end, he actually did, because the 2 gangsters, the 2 gang members, guarantee his safety. So he decided that he would go back. The thing I got out of the movie, if Bob Marley didn't go back to Jamaica at that particular time, Jamaica could have ended up in a civil war. I don't know, realize how people think this is. I was born in Jamaica. I wasn't around in Jamaica at that particular time. And I don't know how people can see that was the whole film. During the 1980 election, a lot of people got killed anyway, because the election was leading up, the situation was leading up to the 1980 election. A lot of people got killed anyway. But if Marley never go back to Jamaica, it would have been worse.
Death, probably.
I could go on.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what he did. So Bob Marley is what we call, regardless of who don't like him or don't like him, Bob Marley is what you should be, a hero.
Yeah.
Definitely a hero.
Definitely
a hero. So that's my take on the movie. So, you can't say what you want to say now. But you see, sometimes you have to look at the big picture. Oh, she wasn't in it. This wasn't in it. Bonnie wasn't in it. Peter wasn't in it. It wasn't about that.
That was about Bob Marley.
It was about Bob Marley going back to Jamaica and saving Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Well said.
Thank you. Now, right. Women's International Day, girls. So, the inspiration for Women's International Day is inspiring inclusion, yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Tell me a little about Women's International Day.
Well, what it means to me.
What does it mean to you?
It means that, because I always think that women are like, it's like a sisterhood, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, it's coming together, it's sharing our life experiences, it's bigging up each other, it's supporting each other. It's just it's developing each other as well. And you know, we can look at the past of what women have done, we can look at the future, you know, what they're going to do, we can look at the current times, what people are doing, women are doing. It's all those things really, and it's coming alongside and supporting each other.
Yeah, great. How's it for you, Christine?
I feel a bit like Maureen, that it's, you know, it's looking what it's looking at what women have achieved, I think, as well, and celebrating that. And I think we need to love ourselves more. Yeah. I really do. And the world needs to love us more.
So, I'm a man, so I got to say this. No, I think the world gives you enough love as it is.
But you have to then, you can go, you can say, define love, innit? That's a whole new ball game.
That is a whole new
ball game.
I'm not going to go down that one.
Yeah, stay safe. Stay safe, Carl.
Stay safe. So, Christine, who are some of the women who inspire you?
Well, to tell the truth, I'll have to go back to maybe, is it the late 60s, 70s?
Yeah.
I can think of a woman that inspired me then was Angela Davis.
Oh, my
I don't know whether you remember her.
Angela
Davis.
Fantastic.
And obviously, I was still young and I was at school. But she was sort of an activist, wasn't she? Yes. A freedom fighter. Yes. And, you know, against oppression, against black people. Because, you know, she comes from, Alabama? Birmingham, Alabama.
Yes.
And also she was sort of for women's rights as well.
Yes.
And, you know, for me at that time, with us and what we were going through back in the 60s and 70s, it was a time where there was a lot of racial discrimination that was going on at the time. And I think us as women as well, black women, and, you know, the big Afro came in as well. And that sort of celebrated your hair, that, you know, this pressing and stuff, you find that women weren't really doing it that much. And I think she sort of brought that in, you know, with the big afro. Yeah. And I think because she was this activist and, you know, she was fighting for black people. And where she came from, like I said, it was a place, I think they said they called it Dandymite Hill. Something like that, because of the Ku Klux Klan. You know, they were there and they used to bomb up all the houses and things like that. So yeah, she fought against that, and I think she was imprisoned. And they said that's something to do with murder. I don't think she murdered anyone, but I think they tried to indict her because I think they said that she had weapons, which they found. I don't know whether you remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember. I've read.
I'm probably a lot older than you.
At the start, if you remember, I said, wow. Because that's because I read her book. If they come in,
Yeah.
there's a book called "If They Come in the Morning."
Yes.
That's and that's telling the story of what you're actually talking
Yeah.
about. And I've read about. My mother had that book, and my mother passed it on to me one day, and I decided to read it. It's actually a
Yes.
fantastic book.
Yeah.
And if you ever look at my Facebook page, you'll see one of my books in it.
Yes.
Is "If They Come in the Morning." This is
Yeah,
absolutely
but,
marvelous.
but
to
she
read
was a
that.
great influence at the time. Because I remember at school as well, when she was when they imprisoned her, I think they was demonstrating for her to be set free. Because obviously, I don't think she was guilty of what they said she was
That's
guilty
right,
of.
yeah.
But I think she did 18 months
That's
in
right.
prison. And all of us was, I think we were what, black gloves, and we had a big badge on us, you know, free Angela Davis,
Marvelous.
you know, but we all got in trouble for that at school. And we were told we couldn't wear a badge on us anymore with Angela Davis, and this black hand thing, you can't be doing this and raising your hands like that. So yeah, but it was a time that I think it made us quite conscious. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems a very, very conscious time, that those part of period of time. People actually used to sort of really stand up for things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you actually think, what's happened now? You know what I mean? Sometimes you actually think, what happened now? Is anybody really standing up for each other? We was actually talking about council tax earlier on. Is anybody really standing up for each other? Or is it because we get too comfortable? Oh, I can afford this, you know, I can afford that, I can go on holidays, and I can go to where when I want to. I don't really care what is going on in the rest of the world. Is that a way to look at it? I'm enjoying my life. I don't really... It's like the pressure that the guys or my parents or my grandparents suffered, or your parents or your grandparents suffered, even when you're growing up. You know, it's not so that pressure is not under there. Even though there's pressure, that pressure is not there anymore. So we all get really comfortable. Oh, I've got a nice job. I'm earning a bit of money. I don't really care about you. You don't really care about me. I can do what I want to do. You know what I mean? If your house sets on fire, somebody come and set your house on fire. Some far right come and set your fire. The rest of your neighbors just go back to business. I'm going on holidays. Does that make sense?
I don't think it's like that. I just think sometimes people are very, very busy in their own lives.
Yeah, but you know,
and they don't want that. They don't want the hassle.
You could say hassle, but people was very, very busy at that time. It was a very, very busy time, that particular period of time.
But look at the time that we live now.
Yeah,
and society, and young people. They're like you said, they're very much just for themselves, and as long as
I'm all right, Jack. I'm all right, Jack.
I'm all right, Jack. So my little corner, I'm fine. I'm coping and whatever. So they don't bother. It's not like it was before, where you find people come out and fight. You remember the time of maybe, was it the coal miners and things like that?
Yeah.
See, there was a lot of that going on back in the 60s and the 70s.
You're talking about probably early 70s, aren't you?
Yeah. So you find people don't really.
I suppose, like, you could even look at it as if to say, okay, then what are the messages out there nowadays? You know, like, love gal, and shoot them, boy. You know, it's that kind of stuff now. So, you know, and look at the bling. So what do you think of that?
Oh, God.
So what do you think? This is the messages that's getting out. Back in other times, it was more serious.
We see these things on shops, not on YouTube and all those, on social media. And we see these things in there.
Exactly. So you know, the messages need to be clearer for young people to get it.
Yeah.
You know, and we need to go back. It's like, for instance, what's her name? Maya Angelou, right? She was on a filming studio or something, and she met a young man. She was talking to a young man, and she basically said to him, she was trying to encourage him, and she says to him, you know, she says, do you know that what your people went through, you know, like in the slave boats, and how, you know, they were all like cattle, and they were, you know, defecating on themselves because there's no place, you know, they were in sardines, you know, like a sardine package, and defecating, menstruating, all in one group, and they fought to get you where you are today. I said, do you know your worth? Do you know your worth? And the guy, he was so moved, it brought tears to his eyes, and she said that she had no handkerchief, she had to wipe his eyes with her hands. And how it turned out, it was Janet Jackson said to her after a while, do you know who you're speaking to? She said, no. She said, Tupac.
Wow.
Tupac Shakur.
Tupac Shakur.
You know, and his mom rang up Maya Angelou and she said, thank you so much for talking to my son. I think you could have saved his life.
Yeah.
You understand me? So
And he received that message, and it still never keep him alive.
It never did.
He died a very, very young man.
He did. He
Died in his
was trying to steer his life right, wasn't
Yeah.
he? But
It's such a shame.
old gripes, eh?
It's such a shame, man. Women who influence you? You just talk about one lady.
No, I just mentioned that. That was my little, Maya Angelou. She, you know, I love the poetry. I love her wise sayings. I love the way she carries herself. And I know she's a woman who's had difficult times, you know, and it's just to see how somebody comes back from the struggle, just like she says, still I rise. And I like that. I like that that phrase, still I rise, because that is life for women as well. You asked me who else do I admire or who else influenced me. Like, for instance, my sister.
Great.
Right, I love my sister. I'm not trying to make her cry, you know.
Great.
But I do, and seeing her struggles in life and how she's come through, that's an inspiration for me.
Great.
Do you know what I mean? And other people, like people I come into contact with, work or just talking to people, women who've had breakups in their marriage, women who have lost kids or partners. I've got a woman who's lost a partner who was a prolific community person. Everybody loved him and he just died like that. And she's had to carry on, you know. So those are people that I have to think, wow, and they're the ordinary people, everyday people who we don't even look at, really, but they're there. We just have to get to know their narratives.
Marvelous. Absolutely great. Fantastic. Now, should men celebrate Women's International Day?
Of course we did!
You're frightened with it. Can you see I'm not very big, am I? I'm big now. Are you frightened?
I can be quite scary.
I wouldn't say so, Maureen. Yeah, so men should celebrate Women's International Day every day.
I think so, yeah, because I think we deserve it, you know.
Exactly.
Because we're so often unseen,
Unseen.
you know, and I think we should. I think
We're
they should celebrate it.
We'll be the power behind the man.
Okay,
Definitely.
yes. That is actually great. Yeah. Well, what would you change about the assumption that man made about women? What would you change? Because men make a lot of assumptions about women. Don't they? What would you change? Let me start with you.
The assumption that men makes about
It's a hard one. It's not an easy one because you can think of many. I think that's
I can think of many.
you can't think of many.
Like women, you're weak, or you're.
Yeah, they do think that.
You think some men think women are weak? I don't think so. I don't know if men think that, you know, because a lot of men, well, every man comes from a woman. And most men who actually comes from women would say women are strong. Their mother, their parents, or members of their family are very, very strong. Now, probably when you step outside the gate, it becomes a different ball game.
I think sometimes they can feel that we're nagging when we're not nagging.
Okay.
That's an assumption.
That's true.
They think we're nagging when we're not nagging. And I think when we're trying to tell them something, and I think basically they don't really want to hear it, so it becomes like, you're nagging?
Yeah.
I find that.
I understand that, but can it work both ways? Can it work both ways? When you say men are talking to you, I know this is Women's International Day, but you know, men are talking to you, you're not listening. No.
I think we tend to listen.
I think we listen more, to be
We're
honest.
better listeners than men, because men don't listen as much. Sorry, I know you're a man, but
I can deal. I'm big enough. I can deal with it.
I think men pretend they're listening, don't they?
You really do believe that?
I think they listen to what they want to listen, and then they switch off.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They can only take certain amount, and you have to get straight to the detail, and that's it. But
what do you think that is then? What do you think that is? If they get to a certain stage and they listen and then they'll switch off, what do you think that is?
Because I think you're going on. That's what it is. I think with women, they like to tell everything. They have to like the detail, but men just want
Just the headlines.
or just the bare facts. But they don't want to hear the details or nothing like that. And For me, I think that's what it is.
Okay, I understand. I can see what you're saying. I can see it. Now, have you ever faced any barriers in your career being a woman? Have any barriers? Have you ever faced any barriers?
It's interesting. Did you want to talk first, sis?
No, you go on. You talk.
I remember working at this place. It was called the Ackers, and I lost my job. That was a barrier because I spoke the truth on 2 occasions. It didn't hit me that I did anything wrong, but I remember there was one time where the boss was there. He wasn't even the big boss, but he was the punters with the clients who were coming in. They were saying, "Oh, why can't we get a TV?" And he told them, he used some expletive on them. And I said to him, "Oh, you shouldn't say that. They pay our wages, right?" Strike one. And next time again, I was doing my sandwiches on my unit and everything. And he comes in from a game of football with his muddy gear and he puts it on the counter. And I says, "I don't do that, it's unhygienic." Strike 2.
Okay.
Set me up, lost my job.
Okay. And you feel that because you was a woman he did that?
I do, I should have known my place. There's no other reason.
That doesn't sound very nice. You should know your place.
I should have known my place.
Serious.
Yeah, because I didn't do anything wrong.
Yes,
And I was set up.
So you
and that was
you
it.
feel you're set up.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's
He didn't stay long in his job either, he got fired too. So.
Well, you know, sometimes that happens.
Karma.
Sometimes that's happened. I've actually worked with people who actually done who said I was a boss, and I've actually worked with people. I remember the one boss I actually worked with. She was a woman,
Oh.
and she was a woman who actually the business I'm working in is totally very few of us in that business, and she was a woman, but she actually came from a cheese background to come deal with what we call precious metal.
Okay.
In the industries I'm in, and she couldn't deal with the job. But I was doing my job, and I had knew the inside out of my job, and she didn't like me for that.
Right.
So she started making a bad time for me. In the end, the company actually was getting into very bad debts because of her mistakes, and in the end, the company made me redundant, but I didn't mind. Because 2 weeks after that, I had another job,
Yeah.
which was great. So I had my redundancy, and 2 weeks after that, I got another job. So I had 2 weeks holiday.
Yeah.
And about 4 weeks after, she lost her job because they realized what I was saying was right, and she was incorrect because she was costing the company money. And so you actually do get those sort of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What would your message be for International Women's Day? What would your message be? Have you got a message? I'm going to ask you as well, so you can think
Okay,
about
I'll
it.
think of it.
I'm thinking about it. What message can I?
What message could you leave for, say, Women's International Day?
Shall I say and then you think?
You say and I'll think
you
about
think?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think my message would be love yourself.
Love yourself.
Know yourself
Mhm.
and love yourself.
Love that.
And that's the beginning of everything.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. And you? What you say, Christian?
I thought of what Maureen was saying,
Mhm.
but I would think maybe is don't put yourself down. There's always possibility, and you can aim high, and go for it. But I think sometimes we can put ourselves down and feel we can't accomplish something. But it's about being positive.
Okay.
And I think sometimes as well, read things which are inspirational, which is going to help you.
Okay.
Yeah. But be positive,
Marvelous.
because you're able to do anything.
What do you say to let me actually go this way as well. What are you saying to younger people, or say younger girls? Do you think younger girls are taking up the challenge of Women's International Day? Do you think they're celebrating enough? Do you think they know what it's about? Do you think they're aware of what it's about? I'm talking about the generation, well, the 2 generations from us, or the younger sets. And I'm not having to go at young people. It's just how the world is.
No.
You know? Do you think they're? Do you think they're celebrating is that? Do you think about they think about it much, or you know
Well,
what I mean?
I'll tell you something, because I work...
Grandchildren, great grandchildren are there, that sort of age, you know?
Because I work at college, they're supposed to celebrate those things, right? And you don't really see that many things goes put many things on the board.
You're talking about it.
Yeah, to talk about it. So I don't think they're celebrating it as much as they should. And I think if they did that, you probably find that young girls might find it interesting to feel it's something to celebrate.
Yes,
But if you probably ask them, maybe they don't know that much about it either.
How does it say if they ask and they're celebrating, then they know about more healthcare, they know about more education, they know about more training and even technology, mathematics, and all that sort of thing that actually goes into the whole system. You know, so as you said, probably, and that's probably, and I'm not saying they're not doing that, they're probably just not sharing, learning and sharing different information. You know what I mean? So you don't know what.
Yeah, and I think you've got to be clever how you get your information across, because what does celebrating that mean? Really, is it just giving, downloading information and whoopee, yay? What does it mean? How does it transform lives? How does it relate to that person's life then and there as well? It's a whole lot of stuff that needs to be done.
It is a whole lot of stuff. The other thing I always also look at is Women's International Day. Now we celebrate Women's International Day, say, in what we call the Western country. We celebrate it in, a lot of women celebrate it in what we call the big way. And then we see, like, because this is Women's International Day, so it means women from all over the world. That's right. I mean, so we see strange things going on in Asia. We see strange things going on in Africa. We see strange things going on those sort of continents, you know what I mean? And I wonder if we can sort of reach out to them, you know what I mean? And as I talk about education, training, and healthcare, and that's what I saw, because that's to me what is Women's International Day is all about. A Women's International Month, healthcare and social care, and all this sort of starving and poverty and the pressure that women face worldwide. So I think we should sort of how do I put this? We should actually sort of chat to us tonight. I think we should also put this out there, so the whole international, even though we see it in the words, it's Women's International Day, but does it really reach to an international stage?
I understand what you're saying, because I can say I celebrate Women's International Day because every day on a Sunday, my husband will cook my rice and peas and chicken, so I'm happy. But then, how does that translate? Because it's international. It's like you said before, integrating with others, isn't it? It's how are you doing that really? There's got to be that integration. And also there's another aspect, is like, do black women and white women, do they experience the same International Women's Day?
That is a very, very good question.
You know what I mean?
What do you think? From your point of view,
what time we got?
What do you think?
No, I personally don't think they do.
Why do you think that?
I think because their outlook is different to our outlook.
Okay. Is it because we're from different cultures? Do you think because we're from different cultures?
Yeah, I think that's got a lot to do with it as well. Our culture's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not understanding the culture, because all our cultures are different.
Yeah.
But then it's not understanding the cultures. Do you know what I mean? And not appreciating and understanding and learning from. You've got to understand. We've been here a long time, We've been, we should be well known now.
You actually answer,
because people tend to.
You actually answer the question. We've said the question, but you answer it because you said it. You're not understanding and learning the different cultures and understanding it. So you actually answered what I was going to ask you anyways. So you've actually answered it. Which
See, that's about Women's International. Is that brain tech? Not you think it, it. Just kidding.
It's a bit like what they said, like birds of a feather, they flock together.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Birds of a feather, they flock together. And so if you're doing that all the time, how are you going to learn?
You're not allowing anybody else in. You're sticking to the people who are like you.
That's right.
And you're not allowing anybody else to come in. Yeah. And that's not wisdom, and that's not learning. Do you know what I mean? Because you can be so much richer when you share each other's,
But we're in strange times. I'm going to say we're in strange times. The world is a strange situation. We see it. You know what I mean? The world is a very, very strange situation, and I don't know what's going to next. And so how do you get somebody to intertwine like that? You know what I mean? It's very, very hard, isn't it?
It is hard because it's all about the heart, isn't it?
Yeah. How do you get or how you get like somebody else to see your culture as their culture or intertwine with it? You know what I mean? It's always your friends or your next door neighbor or those people that you sort of associate with it, whatever culture they're from. But like, you know what I mean, to get the mask in. You know what I mean? What we're talking about on a big level. How do you deal with that?
Well,
What is the answer?
do you know something? It can work because you think of it, well, not everybody work, but like in workplaces, people, they can have workshops, can't they? And it can work that way where you put on something which is cultural.
Yeah.
It's a bit like with us at church. I'll talk about church. Yeah, and we have a particular year when we go away, and in our church it wasn't very cultured, was it, Maureen? So we're talking about church. It wasn't very cultured, and one year we decided to just cook. We brought in our own type of food, and it was quite interesting, wasn't it? We weren't quite sure whether they'd eat the food or whatever it is, because they're very, very Englishy, and you find that they're always in their little clique and they don't mix very much. But everybody roped in, and they'd ask a question, and
It went down a storm, yeah.
yeah, and I was, how did you cook it, and what's this called, and so people can integrate.
Yeah.
It's about putting that
Effort in.
really, and that's all it is, putting the effort in.
And it's the willingness to learn, because you can also find people who you do all those things for, but they just don't want to learn anyway.
That's right.
Like when we used to have the bias training and discrimination training, we used to do it way back in when I was much younger and prettier. We they was
Pretty now.
I was just itching for for praise,
You set me up there, didn't you?
Come on.
You set me up there, didn't you? Oh, hey, you know what? Don't be an attention seeker there, Don't be an attention seeker.
I'm trying to throw my dummy
I'm
in
not a
there.
big fan of attention seeker.
But in the days of work, I remember I used to do like discrimination workshops, and you have the black person who was telling them that about all kind of stuff, and some of the people would say, you know what, I'll just put on my glasses and sleep, and that's what they used to do. Come in their dark glasses, and they'd just switch off and be sleeping while this person is talking before them, trying to see. So some people you can have a heart to listen, and some people just lock off.
Marvelous. I see what you're saying. Take it.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I see what you're saying. It's very, very interesting. I know you got some poems. You got a couple of poems you're gonna do for us.
I have, yes.
You know what I mean? So, what are some of your poems about? Tell us how long you've been writing poetry.
Oh gosh. I was going to say, from my barn out of my mother belly, but that's not true. I think it's been a long time, I suppose, because growing up, I was never someone who could really, I didn't feel like I could communicate very well. I couldn't express my emotions. So poetry really was what worked for me.
Okay.
So I've developed it since that.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Marvelous. And how do you find it?
I love poetry, and you can get away with a lot through poetry. You can say a lot more than just speaking it out clear. And
you sing as well. What singing is like poetry, isn't it? Because you can write. You can write and sing what you actually you can write and sing what you actually write. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah, it's absolutely marvelous. Marvelous. And what about you, Christine? You into poetry?
My sister always say, "Oh, you put yourself down."
She does.
Yeah, I can write poetry, but my poetry is different from my sister's. She rhymes, and I don't rhyme. Yeah. But she always said it's good, don't you, Mark?
What are your hobbies? What are your hobbies?
Art. Art is my hobby.
Art is your hobby. What sort of art again? Could you Maureen, could you go and set up, please, while I'll be talking to Christine while you're going to get on our platform. Thank you very much. So what is your what are some of your hobbies?
Well,
you was talking about art.
I like art. I like abstract. abstract art,
Mhm.
and pottery. I like pottery. I haven't done it for a long time, but hand modelling, not the wheel. I'm really hopeless at that.
Yeah.
But handmade models, I'm I'm okay. I
Okay.
haven't drawn for ages,
Yeah.
but
I saw you had some notes on you. What you've got with you there? What have you
oh,
got
my
with you?
notes.
Yeah.
Oh, my notes was just on Angela Davis, but I didn't
Oh,
think. But I
you've
didn't
done it.
think. But I didn't think I
You've actually
actually.
done it.
I didn't think I actually needed it.
Any more famous women that you actually sort of really locked into?
Well, I can tell you, but it's not a woman of today,
Okay.
because I'm a Christian as well,
Yeah.
and when I think of this woman, because I always say the Bible's very masculine,
Mhm.
and you never really hear much about women. You have to really read into it to know.
Is that
And
saying you never really hear about women in the Bible?
no, not really hear about them, but
They
they're not
don't
really.
portray them as
Yeah,
leaders or
yes,
as strong people.
that's right. You can read, but it doesn't really portray them as leaders.
Okay.
Yes. So there's like Esther,
Mhm.
Esther in the Bible,
Mhm.
and when you think of it, you could say she was a bit like an activist herself,
Okay.
because she was she was a young Jewish lady,
Mhm.
and she was living in was it Babylon? No, I'm trying to think of Persia,
Yeah.
Persia,
Mhm.
and she was married to a king who, he didn't actually know she was Jewish, but he went out looking for a lovely, beautiful woman,
Mhm.
and they found her, bought her, and he married her,
Mhm.
and apparently uncle Mordecai,
Mhm.
you know, he was sort of always coming up by the gate and trying to, to speak to her, to say to remember, the people.
Mhm.
And she fought for her Jewish people, really.
Yeah.
And to cut a long story short, there was justice in the end,
Marvelous.
because there was somebody who really hated them and tried to get them all sort of wiped out completely. But eventually, she made some sort of ploy, and you know, she got her own back. Put it that way.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
So yeah.
Absolutely great. Absolutely great. We're gonna go over to Maureen now. Maureen's on our platform this week, and she's gonna give us some of her poems. Maureen, you're on next, please.
Okay, this is a high chair. My throne. Right, so this is one of my books. It's called The Pros and Cons. It's an anthology of poems I've been writing from way back. I decided to put them together. This one is one that I've written. It's not rhyming words for a change. As my sister says, I'm always writing rhyming poems, but this one doesn't rhyme. And it's called Buried Alive. And I thought this is fitting for Women's International, because it's about men needing to recognise the women they're dealing with. You know, you need to be wise. You need to be wise to what you're dealing with. So this is called Buried Alive. Imagine that you are in a type of relationship that makes you feel that you are buried alive. That's a strange analogy, I hear you say, but just walk with me a little into the realms of my mind. Being buried alive is like being in a relationship where you, the spouse, are invisible. All your gifts, efforts, skills, strengths, and talents are sidestepped for the protrusion of your breasts, the majestic jockeying for position of your buttocks, the poetic strides of your thighs, and the imagined promise of a warmth that welcomes the undercurrents of one's spousal drive for intimacy. Being intimate, intimate, into me. Not a physical intrusion, but a mindful, mental, and spiritual connectedness and engagement. My innate soul wants, waits, yearns, no balls for a conscience, a consciousness to my plight. He who has an ear, an eye, sense my absence from your perceived reality. Feel the empty expanse devoid of inclusive my atoned synchronicity, synergy. Look for the whole and don't give up till you find me buried, buried deep, buried alive under the myths of womanhood, pseudo expectations, both innate and external, man-made mores, customs and traditions. Unearth me, release me from this confined rigidity. Give me a new name. Tell me my worth. See me, know me, give me life. Give me life, for I am woman.
You got another one?
Yeah, I got another one. This one is...
Absolutely great. I love that. You love that one, yeah.
Oh dear. Right, let's see this one. What's this one? I had another one, but I can't... this one. Right, so I won't tell you what this one's about, because I'll probably ask you afterwards.
Okay.
It's called Broken. Do you know I'm here? I feel you through my pores. My heart beats to the pulse of yours. Your rhythmic breath sets the pace as pathways for my own to trace. I am here, every inch a part of you, in tune, atoned, akin through and through. I move to the serenading waves of your emotion, washed in the swelling moods of your ocean, yet anchored by an unbreakable cord, bonding, making us of one accord, body, mind, soul, coexisting in harmony, one genetic strand, a miracle of chemistry. Do you not feel me? Know that I am here? Does your mind's eye detached out of sheer fear that you won't be able to deny nor erase the sense of me from your memory's anguished embrace? Or that twinge of something so strong inside, imprinted, honed, without embellishment of pride? Embedded over time, are you not aware of our synchronized growth? What you bear, I bear. You are the first sensation I feel. A life within a life seems so surreal. You are my world, all I care about. I am your future waiting to break out. From that inner sanctum that transforms and molds, that nurtures, secures and tenderly unfolds. I am you and you are me, two distinct spheres colliding in unity, sensual perceptions peak, though no words to orate, brainwaves beg that none underestimate, that spark of life that requires no hint, but reveals the truth of divinity's handprint. I see you through closed eyes, through shades, lights, darks like vibrant dyes. I hear you through clogged ears, vibrations resonating, fighting back tears. I touch you with senses unfamiliar and unique, and you say your name with lips that don't even speak. I am enamored by the thoughts of you, counting down life's pangs when one becomes two. And face to face like strangers anew, we forge and fuse as inseparable glue. But I detect a foreign intrusion that's like a sacrificial ablution, bringing an insidious ache I can't fathom that sends my organs in a frenzied spasm, scrambles and discombobulates my mind so that our connectivity I no longer find, losing that sense of you, sense of belonging. No explanation for what is happening, encompassed by fear shattering my whole soul. I feel my nerves freeze, blood run cold, as overwhelmed by a surging sensation. It whispers its name as condemnation. Not worth saving regardless of the cost. I'm disregarded, wantonly tossed by a heart that is hardened by life's frost. Can't win, I'm losing, I'm being lost. But on deaf ears my cries are overglossed. I am losing, I am being lost, I am lost. I was here, I did exist, and that you can't deny. And I take my cue with my final goodbye, reduced as an it, and being taken away from within that which had been my hope and stay. I know my departure is shrouded in lies, and my reality concealed under the guise that no one was hurt, injured or scarred. Yet on the day I ceased, silence never awed.
Is it about mother and child? No. Mother and child, I got it tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. And it's
for a moment I was actually thinking it's something to do with water.
no.
This is about mother and child.
Yeah. It's losing a child. It's yeah.
Mother and child. Oh, that was good guess, isn't it?
That was good. I'm impressed.
That means I'm very impressive. I'm having that one. Oh dear me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sister Maureen. Let me say thank you, guys. We're run out of time, so let me say thank you. Don't forget to catch us next week with another What's on Your Mind. My guest is actually from Governor Road Studio in Handsworth, and he's got an art exhibition down there. Rob, you've been in the studio telling us all about it, so catch it. We actually went down to Grosvenor Road and we do some clips down there, so tune into that program next week. That's Rob from Grosvenor Road Studio, and they say his art exhibition. We'll be talking about that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sister Maureen, Christine, let me say thank you both for coming to this studio, and God bless you all. Thank you for tuning into Breakthrough TV. Thank you, Mr. Producer.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Producer. God bless.
Yeah. God bless.